and that you will do nothing to jeopardize the safety or comfort of the players, coaches, officials, or other spectators. Any and all harassment of officials, players, and/or spectators will be grounds for immediate removal without warning. It simply will not be tolerated. All of the high school student athletes competing today deserve the respect of everyone in attendance. Inability to comply with these simple requests will cause you to lose the privilege of watching this game. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation and for making this an enjoyable, competitive experience for all. Please rise and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ramsey, New Jersey, along the Garden and Empire State border, all the way up Route 17 north to Don Bosco Prep and Granitel Stadium. As you are watching live coverage of the 2025 NJSIAA non-public tournament streaming live on YouTube right here on SSP Video Highlights, as we're just a couple short moments away from the start of the first of four non-public state quarterfinals, all four set to play this Tuesday afternoon, as our hosts, the Ironmen of Don Bosco, the number 4 ranked team in the NJ non-public tournament, prepare for battle. A clash with the Immaculata Spartans is what we have on tap for you here this afternoon, the first ever meeting between these two teams, as Bosco, led by head coach Matt Lane, a record of 15-6 on the 2025 campaign, look to continue their title defense, one of two 2024 non-public champs. The Ironmen in the A classification, they have their sights set on back-to-back state titles this year in the reworked 24-team Super non-public New Jersey tournament. And down the other end of the sideline, it's Spartans head coach David Hobson in his 5th season as head coach. He's taken a program that finished 2-11 in his first season in the spring of 2021 to 3 consecutive state quarterfinal trips in non-public B, 2023 saw a run to the semifinals and a loss to the eventual non-public B champ. That was Gil St. Bernard's, who play later this afternoon. But it's Immaculata, your 12 seed, the lowest remaining team in play following an upset win over Pope John on Saturday. They look to be road warriors and continue their push into the state playoffs. Joined by Jay Sticco operating the camera and producing this afternoon's game. My name is Ryan Holzbuzz. Glad that you could tune in wherever you may be as we buckle up for some state quarterfinal lacrosse. At the present moment, 8 teams remain in the NJSIAA non-public tournament. In about 4 hours or so, that number will be cut in half down to 4, our final 4. And those semifinals, both set to be played on Friday, with the non-public boys and girls championship set for Wednesday, June 11. Keene University, the boys, to play at 6:30. As we are off here from Don Bosco Prep High School. And Scott Conti, face-off man for the Ironmen, wins the opening draw and gets our afternoon started. Bosco will settle in offensively. It's the Ironman in black. It's Immaculata in all white. Again, our goal scoring started early. It's 91 in black, Hudson Villarule. The junior, his 21st goal here in 2025. Might have come off the assist there from 15 in black. That's the senior captain, 6'3", Brady Scaletti, heading to Duke. Closing in on, 1 goal, and he will break his own Don Bosco single-season goal-scoring record. A handful of points. I believe he might have been the distributor there, so definitely something that we are going to follow. But Villarule strikes first. And Bosco early here, just 30 seconds into our first quarter, take a 1-0 lead. And Immaculata, a big face-off win. It is 31 in white. That's the junior Riley Rohrback. Sort of came into this season the face-off man for the Spartans more by necessity. Talking with head coach Hobson last night. Done a great job, though, this season, but they can beat you in games where they struggle at the face-off stripe. Even in the round 2 game on Saturday, Immaculata, a 7-6 win over the 5-seed Pope John. Rohrback plus the other a handful of face-offs taken by guys like Quinn Hayden. The Spartans were blanked in that round 2 game at the face-off stripe. So nice to see them get a win for Rohrback early here in our first quarter against Conti, one of the best face-off men in the state, one of the best face-off men in the country. To the point, Cole Hayden, senior captain, going to be mentioning his name a lot here this afternoon. A sidearm underhand shot with Jack Murphy all over him from behind. Skips it across the off the turf. Hayden, his 63rd goal, 103rd point here in 2024. Knots our score up at 1.
Let's go, Scotty.
Hayden also closing in on some records. We'll keep it going here, though, throughout the broadcast. You got brothers Cole and Quinn Hayden. Cole a senior, Quinn a sophomore, both midfielders. Quinn will even pick up a long pole, something you don't typically see. It's a little bit of a big weight difference. Conti the face-off win. Rohrback not making it easy on it, but Conti had been stripped, able to secure that loose ball. Bosco now settle in again as we're approaching 2 minutes through our opening quarter, all tied up at 1. Here between the 4th seed in the non-public tournament, Don Bosco Prep and Immaculata. The Spartans are the 12th seed, just based on the bracket not reshuffling. Immaculata is the lowest remaining seed remaining, and you would imagine if in the situation where it would get reseeded, it would be Immaculata going to Del Barton here this afternoon. Del Barton instead will host Pingree at 4 p.m. All 3 of those other quarterfinals set to go at 4 p.m. Del Barton and Pingree at Del Barton. St. Augustine hosts Gil St. Bernard's. And it's Seton Hall Prep hosting Bosco, Bergen County rival, Bergen Catholic. Skip pass. Nice skip pass, too. It was Dash Lane. And then running out of an angle was Brady Scaletti down around goal line extended. He received the pass, able to get the shot off. Wasn't sure if he was able to get it on goal side. Regardless, back up for Bosco, and they'll keep it right here offensively. Again, it's Bosco in the black jerseys, white helmets, white shorts. Immaculata in all white. And they've got, like, teal blue helmets and the white grill. Here's a skip pass across to our near hash to Dash Lane from Scaletti. And down to goal line extended for Jason Coate. He'll come north, move it off to Lane to his right. Lane, a skip pass in front to Scoletti, the senior. A little bit too wide open there, about 5 in that 5-and-5 range down by the near hash. Scoletti, goal number 62 here in 2025. He breaks his 2024 Don Bosco single-season goal-scoring record here in our first quarter. Just over 3 minutes through our NJSIAA non-public quarterfinal. It's a 2-1 score. And again, also Scoletti coming up on points record as well. We will. I'll be going down to the scorers table at halftime. Make sure we're all on board. Correct. Again, I think he might have had the assist there on that first Villarreal goal, as Villarreal controls here near numbers following the Will Conti face-off win. Double sixes out there in black. Or Will Lugo, excuse me. Thank you. I heard you say Will, and you helped me out there. I appreciate it. As Bosco controls here from the top of the restraining box, it's Dever along the near hash. Will Lugo first face-off win here on the afternoon. Conti currently 1-1. It's dash lane near numbers. Will play it behind for Jason Koo. Back to lane. And now up to the point for Dever. Approaching 4 minutes through our opening quarter. Here's Scoletti along the far numbers. He's pushed out towards those numbers. He'll play for Dever, top of the restraining box. Talking with Coach Hobson here pregame, said, how are you going to slow down Brady Scoletti? He can do it all, creates his own space. Obviously, just here early, he's had a handful of chances as the ball's on the ground. Spartans recovered it for a moment. Nice ground ball there. Believe that is 38 in white. It is the sophomore Quinn Hayden who'll run to the sideline, change sticks. Momentarily, he'll get back on the field. Here he is. As Immaculata will settle here below goal line, extended in the stick of the senior Cole Hayden. Your goal scorer for these Spartans here this afternoon now has 63 goals, 103 points here in 2025. Make that 182 career goals, 273 career points for the Richmond commit. And he'll hope to continue to tally on to that here this afternoon if he wants his team to have any chance here of going toe-to-toe with Don Bosco. Number 4 right now in New Jersey, number 4 in the NJSIAA non-public tournament. They started the season number 1 in the state and spent much of this 2025 year number 2. They then dropped to number 3. And then just by way of the PowerPoints setting that non-public bracket, they ended up falling to number 4. Seton Hall Prep jumped up a bit. The loss to St. Augustine. Right here at Bosco, St. Augustine jumped up to 3. As that's Cole Hayden, the senior, slipping. He was covered, I think, by Villarreal, typically an attackman. And here's Villarreal at midfield. He'll receive a bouncing pass at the near hash. And a touch into the restraining box. A turnover there for the Spartans, and Bosco will take over. We approach the midway point here in quarter number 1, and the Ironmen a 1-goal lead. Scoletti at the point. Here's Dever. He'll play it to his right for Kushner, 20 in black, and back to Dever. He'll carry one-handed top of the restraining box, now up to the 35-yard line of the football field. Spartans play a zone defense, and then as you see the ball played over to that far sideline, that far wing, the lefty wing for Scoletti. The plan to extend on him. You can't let him get his left hand free and wind up from there. And as Coach Hobson said, can't let him get his right hand free either, but would rather have that happen and not that happen, as that Scoletti coming essentially uncovered. Defense loses him there along the 25-yard line. Working his way east-west, left-handed shot off the mark. But the emphasis to extend on things like that and then try to force him to his right. Typically, obviously, he's about to possibly receive the ball here. He does. If he were to be forced to his right toward goal line extended, to lose the angle, something that head coach Hobson, this defense, focusing on here this afternoon. Here's Dever off the curl from the crease area. Nice save there by Kyle Hopi, the senior captain. Will tally that as his first here this afternoon as the Spartans look to clear across midfield. Ball on the stick of Alex Cazores, the junior, 17 in white. He's across midfield and now looking for help. We'll find it for him of 18. That's Connor Stevens, defensive midfielder. And now up to the attack. Here's the sophomore Owen Sanford. And then just a touch there on Holpe. Made the last save. That's save number 270 here in 2025, having his best season of his 4-year starting lacrosse career. Game number 77 for Kyle Holpe, a St. Joseph's commit, the all-time saves leader at Immaculata High School. Recently just broke his older brother Kevin's record. Here's Cole Hayden, senior captain, from the top of the restraining box far hash. Dodged into the middle of the field, a right-handed shot saved by O'Hara. And now outlet pass comes all the way to the near sideline. Bosco offensive half of midfield. It was Villarreal along our near sideline. And it looks like our official right here on our near sideline on the other side of midfield. But he was right here on the scene. Whistles Villarreal out of play. So it'll be a turnover. Immaculata to take over. 4 minutes left in our first quarter. Bosco a 2-1 lead. It's the senior Tyler Pollock carrying behind. He'll play it to the far numbers along goal line extended. And now back to about the 15-yard line. And Cole Hayden, senior captain, control from the far hash. Plays it for brother Quinn and back for Cole. Now Ryan Prisco, the senior, back to Prisco along the far numbers. Prisco, 10 goals, 18 assists here in his senior season. Behind for Sanford, one in white. Very talented sophomore, one of the best freshmen last season in 2024. Older brother Connor played here at Immaculata, currently goes to Stevens. Ball jarred up into the air. It was recovered by Ben Linder, 40 in black. And he's then able to retrieve that loose ball in the middle of the field. However, his outlet pass towards midfield around the 40-yard line did not find its way to Tim Norum. It's Cortland commit, 28 in black. So Cole Hayden, the senior, will control here. So he'll now step into the inside of the 30-yard line and slips. Looked like he had the stick in his left hand, maybe trying to get to his right. Here he goes down the right alley. Skip pass cross for younger brother Quinn. And now Immaculata plays it behind. Captain Nolan Smith swung back to Quinn Hayden. Back to the near hash for sophomore Sanford. Sanford, sticking his left hand, plays it for Quinn Hayden. 2:30 left to play in our opening quarter. Here's Cole Hayden from behind, and a great save by James O'Hara. Senior began the season as the backup to Brody Corey, and O'Hara got his opportunity, has not looked back. Now 2 saves here on the afternoon, keeps our score at 2-1. Bosco leads, and Dever touching the restraining box. Possible unsettled situation here for the Ironman. Here's Scaletti, far hash, one more for Brady Kushner. He rings one up off the crossbar. A step or two below goal line extended. He came north, received the pass from Scaletti. And Scaletti again reaching that points record, single season points record that he's looking to break his own from his junior 2024 season. Almost came one closer there. Kushner, though, off the crossbar. Possession will stay right here with the Ironman. Here's Halesworth near numbers. Will play it for Dever from the top of the restraining box. Great ball movement as the Ironman pinging around. Jason Koo playing from behind. Typically a top of the restraining box initiator. This time Kushner sneaks his way from behind. Spartans in that zone defense. Sticks up, looking to try to knock down a possible feed there from the junior Kushner. He sneaks his way north of goal line, extended a bounce pass under Holpe. Kushner, goal number 35, here in 2025. Averages 2 goals per game. Now a 3-1 Bosco lead. With $1:37 left to play in our opening quarter. Be back to the face-off stripe. Mentioned Scott Conti, a fantastic 2025. The Delaware commit, having a fantastic 4-year starting varsity career. He'll play it off the face-off win to his left near sideline, near hash for Hudson Villarreal. We'll settle things in as we are inside a minute 30. Basilina, 11 black heads off. Conti heads off. Allows the sophomore Halesworth and Dash Lane to check in. As I mentioned, typically it's Jason Koo, 27 in black, who's one of the main initiators. He's not on the field here, as it was either Lane or Halesworth to check in. Koo, though, typically an initiator from the top of the restraining box, around the numbers, the 30, the 20. We've seen him early here in this first quarter playing around goal line extended. As we're inside 50 seconds, here's Dever. 30 goals, 14 assists coming into the afternoon. Sneaking from behind, Halesworth, left hand free as he curled up around north of that 5-yard line. Skip pass from below goal line, extended. Kushner found Dever around the top of the 30-yard line. Far hash, it was a pretty deep pass. Dever shot off the mark. Backup stays here with Bosco as we're inside 30 seconds. Halesworth near hash. Plays it to his left for Dever. And now behind for Halesworth. Spun the other sideline for Scaletti. And now already to our near sideline for Dever. Top of the restraining box, Halesworth. Scaletti, who's at the near hash. Skip pass in front for Halesworth, and I want to say Holpe knocked that one down. We'll credit him with an assist, or save, Almost Scaletti with an assist, and there's almost Scaletti with a goal at the quarter buzzer. As double zeros on our scoreboard. 2 really strong scoring opportunities there for the Spartans. We'll head to the quarter break. Don Bosco a 3-1 lead. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on SSP Video Highlights. Back here, ladies and gentlemen, from Don Bosco Prep High School, Granite Stadium. Take an opportunity here to introduce our 2 head coaches, as it is the Don Bosco Prep Ironman, number 4 in the NJSIAA non-public tournament. 3-1 lead over Immaculata, number 12 seed in the state private tournament. Bosco, led by head coach Matt Lane. It's his 2nd season as head coach. Just 1 loss in New Jersey play thus far over 2 seasons. It came a couple weeks ago. A triple overtime loss here at home to St. Augustine Prep. A fantastic game. The St. Augustine Prep, they are in action here later this afternoon, again at home against Skills St. Bernard's. But 1 loss, that is that only loss there to St. Augustine Prep in the state of New Jersey. Other than that, losses all out-of-state. Chaminade, Haverford, Fairfield Prep, St. Anthony's, and New Canaan up in Connecticut. Some of the best programs here in the Northeast. Matt Lane, a 2018 Syracuse graduate, and he spent his high school years at Montclair, Kimberly, 3-sport athlete, won a lacrosse state championship in non-public B, won 2 soccer state championships back-to-back as a goalkeeper, and then a basketball player as well, up over 900 points, 1,000 rebounds in his career. He's joined by Brian Cavanaugh down on the sideline, who works a lot with the riding, clearing. He's a former Princeton goalie. And then Frank Lugo, his 9th season as an assistant, as well as Anthony Falco, former Don Bosco student, lacrosse, and football player. As for Immaculata, Dave Hobson is at the helm, his 5th season, as I mentioned off the top. A Keene University lacrosse 2015 graduate and current Garden State manager and coach at 3D Lacrosse. Also a personal trainer, teacher at Immaculata High School. Former assistant at Summit High School. 3 Union County titles, 2 state titles, and 2 Tournament of Champions while Hobson was an assistant there. And pretty cool for head coach Dave Hobson, him telling me last night, this is his first senior class to come in as freshman, spend all 4 years under his leadership, and obviously now coming up on one of their last games as we're in the quarterfinal knockout tournament round. Win and go home. So Coach Hobson, again, reflecting on the game, the season, the last 4 or 5 years that he's spent now with this group. And hoping to continue on to Friday's semifinal. Again, semifinals to be played at the higher seeds on Friday, June 6th. Finals to be played Wednesday, June 11 at 6:30 p.m. from Keene University. It'll be the girls to play before the boys get going. Interception in the middle of the field. Cole Hayden, senior captain, all over the place here for this Spartans team in transition. And what a save by James O'Hara. Possibly called into action again. This time, the Bosco defense tangles up the shooter. It was Sanford Great steal, though, by Hayden on one end. What a save by O'Hara on the other. His third here on the afternoon. Ball on the ground, kick towards the far sideline, out of play. But the possession will stay right here with Bosco. And a timeout taken by the Ironmen sideline. They're first here in half number one. Both teams have 2 per half, so the Ironmen will have 1 remaining over our final. 10:52 here in half number one as we're just over a minute through the second quarter. I was talking about head coach Dave Hobson. Just a little bit of background over the last 5 seasons for this Spartans program. Again, I mentioned off the top, 2-11 in 2021. That then went into a 5-11 2022 season. Really, as Coach Hobson mentioned to me, the really only reason they had those couple more 4-5 wins is because they made a quarterfinal run. It was a loss to Montclair Kimberly in that quarterfinal round, 16-13. But he mentioned, we were 3-11 going into that tournament, or 3-10, whatever it was. But 5 one-goal losses in that 2022 season, including to Rutgers Prep, who was the eventual non-public B champ in 2022. So a lot of bright things taken from that 2022 season. Hobson's second year as head coach. That went into 2023, a winning season at 11-9, a semifinal loss to Gill St. Bernard's. They ended up beating Princeton Day in that non-public B championship. Into 2024, a 7-12 finish, a loss again to Montclair Kimberly, the quarterfinal round. And Coach Hobson mentioned to me last night, he believed had this been a non-public A and B, if we weren't the full 24-team field, he thought his group had a really good chance here in 2025 to make a run in that tournament if it had been a non-public A and non-public B. Instead, it's one, as I said, super non-public tournament. As we're out of the timeout, Bosco to control from the far sideline is dash lane. Goal line extended, belief for Jason Koo, and his shot saved by Holpe. Looks like he got all caught up in his jersey, and Bosco able to scoop up what had to have been a loose ball. Here's Scoletti. No defender within 4 yards of him. His second goal here of half number one. The senior captain now 63, adding to his now single-season goal-scoring record here in 2025. A 4-1 lead now for the Ironmen, as we're about a minute 38, exactly a minute 38 into our second quarter. Again, goal number 2 on the afternoon for Scoletti. Might be point number 3, I believe, on the first goal for Villarreal. I think it was Scoletti who was the distributor. That would put him at 85 points. It would tie his 2023 mark of 85 and 1 point shy of 86, which was his 2024 point scoring mark. Another face-off win here for Scott Conti. And Scoletti will control here from in between the near hash and the near numbers as we hit the 10-minute mark here left in half number one. Bosco a 4-1 lead over the Spartans of Immaculata. There's just a tie knot there on the coaches over there on the sideline for the Spartans as the ball is on the ground. Recovered by Immaculata. That's 21, the sophomore Frankie Kukuza. He'll play it through goalie Kyle Holpe, the 2024 second team non-public B All-State goalie, and across midfield. Here's Quinn Hayden, sophomore. Got to the sideline, picked up the short stick quickly, and now here's Cole Hayden, the senior captain from along the near numbers. Assistant coaching's down there on the Spartans sideline. It's Adam Claxton, a former defenseman at Keene University. Drew Skoranek, his first season with Immaculata, and then Louis Pizzagoni, a 2007 graduate from Marist. So here's Cole Hayden, your sole goal scorer here for Immaculata. Not much room there. Had the defender, who was senior captain James Greenhut, all over him from behind. And Cole Hayden, the senior, able to get just a step, not even like a lean on his defender there, Greenhut leaning up on behind him, and beats O'Hara, I believe, to his right, which is stick side low, sidearm shot for Hayden. Now goal number 64 here in 2025. As I'll mention it, because he doesn't know, Coach Hobson letting me know that he's closing in on 275 all-time points, which in 2009, the Immaculata all-time, or not all-time, or it is all-time point scoring record. Have single season on one side, all-time on the other for Cole Hayden, now 2 points shy of that all-time mark, as that time it was Lugo, 66 in black on the face-off win. A save there for the senior captain, Kyle Holpe, up over 1,000 here in 2025. As I mentioned, all-time leading saves record. Looks like we're going to have an offsides or some sort of infraction of that sort here along midfield. Turnover, Bosco will take over, leading by 2 goals as we're over 3 minutes through quarter number 2. Here's Scaletti from the near hash, beats his defender, and then slide didn't come quick enough. Qtrs, the junior, couldn't, or again, you could see it there, sort of trying to force him towards goal line extended to his right, but as Coach Hobson let me know, you try to take away his left. He has a strong right, a lethal right. That's now a hat trick here for Brady Scaletti, the senior, to commit in our first half. He has a hat trick now in 16 games here in 2025. 5-2 Bosco lead, 8:30 left to play in half number 1. This time, Conti out there to face, I believe it's Quinn Hayden, 38 in white. And it was Hayden with a long pole. Talking with Coach Hobson coming into this afternoon's quarterfinal. Knew that Conti's one of the best face-off men, not just in the state, one of the top guys in the country, not just this year, over the last 4 years, as he receives a James O'Hara pass along the near numbers. A touch into the straining box for Brady Scaletti. But just trying to muck it up is what they call it on the face-off. Try to get the wings involved. You want to just have some sort of tie-up at the face-off. Don't want Conti to just do as he did a couple times. Almost had a goal earlier. I believe it was in quarter number 1. It wasn't yet here in quarter number 2, where he went straight to goal, bounced the shot over the cage. But you don't want that to happen. You don't want, a 4-on-3 essentially. Conti being that number 4 with 2 of his wings trailing him, and all 3 white jerseys, defenders trailing the offensive players. You don't want to be caught in that mismatch numbers-wise right off the face-off. So now 2 looks, Quinn Hayden being the second. Mentioned we might even see Cole out there, or was what head coach Hobson mentioned to me. Might see some other looks as well. So it's Bosco here. Inside, or as we approach, I should say, 7 minutes to play here in half number 1. Scaletti, hands free, shot saved by Holpe. Quick shot there as Scaletti only had his hands free for a split second or so. Received the pass, far hash, back to the cage, and just a quick snap on goal, and nice save for Holpe. Not much of a change of plan. He was able to handle it easily. Now Cole Hayden, the senior, from along the near numbers. Able to get to the middle of the field, sticking his right hand, plays it behind for Ryan Prisco. Nolan Smith, far hash and far numbers, I should say, for Sanford. Now back up to midfield, you can call it, for Cole Hayden. Has both goals here for the Spartans this afternoon. So we approach midway through our first half of play here in our first of 4 NJSIAA non-public quarterfinals. The other 3 games, will follow at 4 p.m. All 3 of them to kick off at 4 p.m. Bosco, a late substitution. It was Dever subbing off, and on is 28 in black, Tim Norum. On the other side of the bracket, the lower bracket, Seton Hall Prep, number 2 team in NJSIAA non-public B, as there's, wouldn't call that a save, more so a steal there. Interception for James O'Hara. He'll play at near numbers for Norum. But Seton Hall Prep, 2 seed, hosting Bergen Catholic, the 7 seed in the non-public tournament. That game to be live on SSP video. Unfortunately, I won't be with you, but if you want to tune in 4 p.m., we got a goal here for Bosco. Hudson Villarreal, second goal of the afternoon for the junior. 22 now here in 2025. 2+ points now in 7 games here this season for the Sacred Heart commit. Now a 6-2 lead for the Ironmen as we are inside 6 minutes here in quarter number 2. And again, it will be sophomore Quinn Hayden with the long pole. Head coach Dave Hobson said he grabs the pole and he's mean. Got to be mean here on the face-off against Scott Conti. If Immaculata wants to win some possessions here, O'Hara receives the pass from Conti. He'll play it near sideline. Captain David Korb as Bosco, they have 20 seconds to get it across midfield. Able to do that right there, and then 10 seconds easily able to do that, a touch into the restraining box, which is that 30-yard line stretching across the field. And you got the blue lines as well, just outside the numbers, as we are playing the blue lines here at Granitel Stadium. 5 minutes left to play here in half number one. Bosco a 6-2 lead, and again, the first of four NJSIAA non-public quarterfinals. We've got 8 teams right now. We'll have 4 by about, call it 7, 8 p.m. here tonight. I think that was Brady Kushner, a behind-the-back attempt there off the mark. But Halesworth, number 1 in black, the backup behind the cage, will keep possession here with the Ironman. Just see the difference of sideline for our two teams. A lot of black jerseys versus a lot of limited number of white jerseys. Bosco calling up a lot of the JV guys to get this experience here, quarterfinal game, to be on that sideline. As for head coach Dave Hobson, said I was going to bring the JV guys, decided against it last minute. Had a lot going on. Finals, graduation there at Immaculata High School yesterday, today, tomorrow. Bosco swinging it around nicely here. 4 minutes we are approaching. Inside and a behind-the-back attempt there for Villarreal. Shot was off the mark, wide of the cage along the far hash. Villarreal again now curling, or I should say coming north of goal line. Extended, received the pass. Quick shot on goal that time. Saved by Holpe. 6th tally here on the afternoon in half number one. Bosco will keep possession as they recovered the loose ball off the Holpe save. Back to the point for Dever. Swung back to the far numbers and now inside for Kushner. Great off-ball movement by Bosco. If you've watched any of their contests here this season, especially the games that I've covered, I've highlighted it because it's usually Kushner or Villarreal doing a great job off ball. That time, want to say that went off a pipe. Scaletti finds his way one-on-one with Holpe. He bounces a shot up off the crossbar. One more chance for Dever, and Holpe comes up huge again. Ball still loose, and now scooped up by, that's Quinn Hayden, 38 in white, and a timeout taken by head coach Dave Hobson along the Immaculata far sideline. 3:16 left to play in our first half, and now one timeout left for each of our two head coaches. What a sequence there. And I try to break it down to see if I can relive memory here. It was Villarreal who came north of goal line extended. He was behind the cage, curled north of GLE along not the far hash, but far side of the field along the far pipe. His first shot off the mark. Then the ball was loose, middle of the field. Scaletti one-on-one with Holtby. A bounce shot, and it bounced off the turf, up off the crossbar. And then I think one more chance for Villarreal, if memory serves me correctly. Our score stands, though, at 6-2. Kyle Holtby, an unshakable wall, is how the Spartans refer to him. And head coach Dave Hobson saying nothing but a pleasure and honor to coach him here over, again, the last 4 seasons that Holtby has operated in between the pipes for the Spartans. 77th career game, a 4-year starter. Now, if my math is correctly and if I have his saves correct here on the afternoon, 1,010 career saves, the all-time leading saves leader. His brother Kevin Holtby previously held that record. Also a football player is Kyle Holtby. A lot of 3-sport athletes, specifically Cole Hayden is a 3-sport athlete, basketball and football. I'll get to him maybe in a little bit. But Kyle Holtby, a football player, 2 receptions, 74 yards, and 11 tackles, a fumble recovery defensively. Head coach Hobson let me know we wouldn't be where we are as a program, Immaculata being we, without Kyle Holtby. And just showing again the tremendous person that he is, as just a story Coach Hobson filled me in on last night. The round 1 game, so 2 games ago, it was a 13-1 win over Camden Catholic at Immaculata. That was last Tuesday, so a week ago. 7 minutes left to play. 6 saves shy of 1,000 for Holtby. And he's yelling over at the sideline saying, get back up Devlin Gaither, the sophomore, into the game. You know, get him this experience in a first-round state tournament game. just showing the person that he is, closing in on that 1,000-goal mark. Not knowing if hey, you might not get 6 saves in a second-round game against Pope John. So just showing the type of kid he was. Wanted to make sure we highlighted that here, as it is the Spartans trailing by 4 goals inside 3 minutes here in half number 1. 6-2 Bosco lead. Spartans out of the timeout. Each team with 1 over our final 2:45 and counting here in our first half. It's Tyler Pollock, the senior, near sideline. 2-year varsity starter for this Spartans program. 57 points by way of 41 goals. Here's, I believe, Quinn Hayden, 38 in white, far hash. His pass inside, trying to find Pollock. Hits the turf. And then that swarming Bosco defense. Mikey Marino there to scoop up that loose ball, the Richmond commit. So 2 future teammates here on the Grand Natal field. Cole Hayden, senior for Immaculata, will be heading there next fall, or this coming fall. Mikey Marino will be back here at Bosco next season for his senior year, but then will follow and head to Richmond the following fall, pending his current commitment. One great thing to see out here for Bosco as heading off the field, 14 in black. It was James Greenhut, senior captain, was injured in the Bergen County final. We were there for that one, Jay and I, down on the field. And really, if you want to say any change of momentum in that Bergen County final, it was James Greenhut going down in the second half. Bergen was on a 3-goal run, closing the deficit that Bosco had created. The goal advantage, and then a little bit of a lull there with Greenhut. Want to say it was a calf or something to do with his leg. Was watching him warming up down on the Bosco sideline before we got started. Great to see him out here. He missed the last 7 games here for the Ironman. 2+ year varsity starter. Here's an Iona commit. That shot off the mark. Jason Koo with the backup. The junior, 27 in black. He'll dig it out from the far corner. 1 minute left to play here in our first half. Played behind for Jason Koo. We're going to get a stoppage. Not sure if our clock had stopped, even though it did just go from 1:01 all the way down to 48 seconds. Looks like they'll start it with the Ironman far sideline outside the numbers. Bosco a 4-goal lead, again, with 1 timeout in their back pocket for head coach Matt Lane. Scaletti from the near numbers. He'll play it behind for Jason Koo. Koo matched up with Joe Amabile. Here's Scaletti. Can't let that happen from the near hash. Cole Hayden was closing the gap, but not fast enough as Scaletti skipped into one, looking for goal number 4 off the mark. Be Koo to begin with it from behind. Now back to Koo. Inside 30 seconds. Far hash.
It's on.
Dever.
It's on. It's on.
Back to Halesworth. Goal line extended for Koo, and we get another whistle.
It's on.
Clock stopped at 12.1 seconds.
It's on in here. I can't control that.
We'll again start from outside the far numbers. 12.1 seconds left here in half number 1. Bosco trying to add to their current 4-goal lead. So our officials will get together. 2 of them at least will here along about the 25-yard line, 20-yard line of the football field. And our 2 teams will head to their respective sidelines. 12.1 seconds left to play. I will, give you a little bit of background. The clock up here was running, but the clock on the scoreboard unfortunately wasn't for moments there. As I mentioned, a minute. We had another, again, just instance there. So our officials will get together. Probably the best thing is if they just make sure they keep the final 12 seconds here. I'd imagine a timeout possibly from one of our 2 teams. It would likely probably have to be Bosco. Again, having possession. We'll keep it right here. No reason to go to a break. We're going to have a halftime break here momentarily. Again, 12.1 seconds left to play here in half number 1. Bosco scoring just under 10 goals a game this season, just over 6 goals or allowing just over 6 goals here in 2025. I'm going to jump to a quick break.
No, because this is going to...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. Again, final 12.1 seconds here in half number 1. 6-2 Bosco lead. The Ironmen will start with it. 30-yard line, the number, all the way at the top of the restraining box. Here's Dever. We skip into it as we're now under 11 seconds.
It's going. Is it going?
Kushner for Scoletti. Nice move there on his defender, and a bounce shot up into the top, high corner, near corner. Beats Holtby. Scoletti, the senior, his 4th goal here in 2025. And Passor, at the moment, per his 4 goals, ties his 2024 86 points. Again, I think he had an assist on the first Villarreal goal, the first goal of the game. So that should put him up over 86 to 87 here in 2025. Again, I'll go down to the field here in a little over a second. We got 1 second exact here on our first half game clock. 7-2 Bosco lead. So it'll be a quick face-off here. I believe Lugo, 66, and Rohrback. It was Conti. Quick face-off win, and the horn sounds. We'll get to the halftime break. After opening 24 minutes of action, 7-2 Bosco here. And again, our first of 4 NJSIAA non-public quarterfinal games. A spot in Friday's semifinal at stake. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in about 9 minutes or so. Half 2 action live right here from Don Bosco Prep in Granitel Stadium. Don't go anywhere. Live right here on YouTube, SSP Video. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Live here at Don Bosco Prep High School, Granite Stadium. It's the Ironmen, a 7-2 halftime lead over the Spartans of Immaculata. Half number 2 action right here, going to get going just a couple of moments. It's William Lugo, St. Bonaventure commit, the junior. Perfect 9-9 versus Northern Highlands earlier this season. Bergen County quarterfinal, 6-7 versus Glen Rock. 67% face-off. Man, he wins one here. Or Rocco Scalia, at least, picks up the loose ball, too. Award Lugo a face-off win. It's Villarreal near corner, and now up to the restraining box. Bosco going to look to settle things in here. So we're approaching 30 seconds through our second half. Glad you could join us live right here on SSP Video Highlights. Live on YouTube. My name Ryan Holspus, joined by Jay Sticko, operating the camera and producing this afternoon's game. Again, live on SSP Video Highlights. Make sure to check out the channel. A lot of other content there as well for your athlete, whether you're a coach, a parent. If you are an athlete, it is Bosco from the far sideline. Scaletti, 4 goals and two assists there in that first half. Scored or assisted on 6 of the 7 Bosco goals. It's the senior captain, now up to 65 goals here in 2025. That shot from the near hash, it was Dash Lane, and then the clear here from Holtby, trying to find Cole Hayden along our near sideline. Lane was all over him. Nice job there by Dash Lane to take the shot. It got saved, turn around, and find his man. And it ended up being Hayden, and ended up making a play on it defensively. Scaletti, nifty pass there, underhand for Halesworth, as he was working his way to his right. Nice passing there. Dash Lane inside. Brady Kushner, the junior. Goal number 36 now here in 2025 as he closes in on 50 points. 47 now for Kushner. Now has 2 goals or more in 11 games this season. Holtby making more saves, though. Had a handful of tallies there. Good save on the first attempt, but allowed Bosco to get another chance and spin the ball around. And again, just the great passing, the great off-ball movement to complement that great passing. And it helps when you got a guy like Scott Conti who wins face-offs like this. Up over 700, up over 800 career face-offs over his 4-year varsity career, up over, I'd have to imagine, 70 games played if I had to guess. 15 goals, 10 assists for the Delaware commit, Scott Conti, all-time program leader in face-off wins. 67% career face-off man. Just mentioned it for Scaletti. He's now got 6 points, 4 goals, 2 assists in that first half. 65 career goals, broke his own 2024 Don Bosco single-season goal-scoring record. And also, with those 6 assists, he's now up to 88 points. Breaks his 2024 single-season record of 86 points, which broke his 2023 sophomore single-season record of 85 points. So Brady Scaletti continuing to put together a fantastic Don Bosco high school lacrosse career. He'll continue at Duke next season. Averages 3 goals per game and just under 4 points per game. Again, 6 here in, 27 minutes or so here in our quarterfinal game. So here's Scaletti, far numbers. Sticking his right hand inside, not really inside, but it was Villarreal, far hash, who received the pass, quick snapshot off the mark. Stay right here with Bosco as Halesworth near hash plays it to Cooper O'Brien Bruno at the point, top of the restraining boxes. We're 3 minutes through our third quarter here at Don Bosco Prep High School. Again, the Ironmen an 8-2 lead by way of 4 Brady Scaletti goals. Brady Kushner's got 2 goals as well. That was Scaletti muscling his way through a handful of white jerseys. He's going to be called by the far official that was right there on the scene along goal line, extended a ward called against the Duke commit Scaletti. 2024 U.S. Lacrosse All-American, a first-team All-State in non-public A, would have to imagine, again, going to be 2025 U.S., or not sure about the All-American part, but 2025 All-State, I'd have to say you can secure that. Thought maybe there was a ball there on the field by the N in Ironman, but it looks like it might just be a piece of tape or something like that. We play on. Just an observation here up from me in the booth. And then trying to find Cole Hayden. That was Nolan Smith. Ball on the ground. Great defense by Heston Halesworth, the sophomore. As he's across midfield. Hands it off for James Greenhut. And Greenhut, one more for Villarreal. Pass off the mark. And then de-twigged here along our near sideline. It was Rohrbeck, 31 in white, trying to scoop up the loose ball. And Villarreal, nice check on the ground ball attempt. And it'll be Villarreal who started here from our near sideline. Now Halesworth to control from the near numbers. Endeavor from the point. Incoming substitution is Dash Lane. Zores with a quick extension. As Dever will control from now the 35-yard line as he skips back a step or two. Here's Lane. Near numbers. Is it behind for Halesworth? Now far sideline, Scaletti along, goal line extended. So he gets forced out towards the far numbers. Dever at the point. Here's Lane. Again, just watch the inside. You got Villarreal and Kushner doing a lot of work there. 15, 20-yard line as Kushner comes out to the top of the restraining box. Allows Scaletti to get his left hand free. Not too much of an angle down there. Probably horizontally he's on like the 12 or 13-yard line. But when you're able to stick your stick out there, get your hands loose, arms extended, and kind of create a little bit more of an angle for yourself. Scaletti's been doing that not just all season, last 3+ years. 180 goals and now 261 career points for Brady Scaletti, hoping to continue his senior season through today. Bosco obviously a 6-goal lead as that shot came off the stick of Johnny Dever from the near hash as he skipped into towards the cage. Off the mark, it'll be Halesworth to start with it, but hopefully a win in advance here in the quarterfinal round, and then either a home date, I should say, with Pingaree if Pingaree is able to upset Del Barton later this afternoon, but don't want to say we're choosing teams here, but Del Barton, the number 1 team in New Jersey, they've been up there all season long, either number 2 or it was Bosco, the number 1 seed in the first week of the season. I think Del Barton took over as number 2 either the following week or the week after that after beating Seton Hall Prep. Could be a tough task there for Pingaree this afternoon against Del Barton, and then if Bosco and Del Barton were to meet in the semifinal, meaning that they likely expected at the start of the year. Brady Scaletti, another one. That's number 5 on the afternoon.
Brady Scaletti.
And now continuing to stretch that single-season goal-scoring, point-scoring record. Now up to 5 goals on the afternoon, 7 points. They get 66 goals on the season and 89 points now, closing in on 90. Down the sideline at halftime again with Scaletti he was already had passed those goal scoring, point scoring, single season records. Want to make sure I went down and got that on the sideline as the William Lugo face-off popped up into the air, won by, that's 24, Declan McNerney. And now for Villarreal, near numbers, but wanted to make sure I went down and got the correct goal stats on Scaletti as he I was just going to say I thought he had checked out. He is up at the current ball handler right now. Wanted to go down the field, get his stats confirmed. I wanted to go down the field, get Cole Hayden, even though only 2 goals for Immaculata, both by him. He's closing in again on all-time points record at Immaculata. So definitely watching that closely here as we're approaching 5 minutes to play in quarter number 3. Here's Scaletti. Skip pass to Koo as he works his way north of goal line extended along the far hash. Skip pass up to Scaletti, top of the restraining box. Now Benny Hurowitz, 19 in black, as he checks in for the Ironman. 5 minutes left to play here in our third quarter. Hurowitz plays behind for Koo. Now far hash, that's Cooper O'Brien Bruno. Sticking his left hand He was covered by Alex Qtrs, the junior. Now Scaletti to his right, puts the stick in his left hand, plays it to his left. And then worked through, Villarreal for Hurowitz and back to Villarreal. Scaletti fakes the behind the back dish. Skip pass to our near hash for Hurowitz. Now Koo. 4:20 left to play in our third quarter here in our non-public quarterfinal. Brady Scaletti just getting through defenders a little bit too easily. Got to put a body on him there. 6'3", 200 pounds. He'll create his own space if he needs to, but just throw some stick checks at him. You're not going to slow him down. Brady Scaletti, goal number 6, point number 8 here on the afternoon. And now a 10-2 lead here for Bosco. 4:18 left to play. But I guess just to go back to what I was saying there, down on the sideline, want to make sure Scaletti, Cole Hayden, we had their stats correct. But head coach Dave Hobson and the Spartan sideline obviously not too thrilled. There were some clock issues there towards the end of our first half where it was stopped. And then after that late goal, the Scaletti, or I believe a Villarreal goal, his second of the game. Clock then showed 1 second after it had been paused, so not too happy, understandably, down on the sideline. Again, as for the Spartans, they're 5-time non-public B champs. They won 3 titles in a row between 2009 and 2011 under head coach Tom Mott. Hobson trying to, again, bring that high level of play, championship pedigree level of play here to this program. Trying to do it here. And again, as I think I mentioned it in the first half, we had a great conversation. I think I had him on the phone for like 20, 25 minutes, which usually you get a coach for 15, 20 minutes. I had him for a while. And skip pass, lane, trying to find Villarreal, end up finding its way to Scaletti. And just defense not pressing out there on him. 7 goals for the senior. Having a career day here in the non-public quarterfinal. Now an 11-2 lead for Don Bosco. And he gets 68 goals now on the season.
It's kind of like a little bit of a hat tip, right?
And 9 points now up to 91 points here in 2025. Again, I'd have to imagine up over 4 points a game now here in 2025. A couple huge goal-scoring outputs. A hat trick in the Bergen County final. 4 goals at New Canaan in that 8-7 loss. St. Joe's in the second round, he scored 5 points. And that looks like, a little every day in the office there for Brady Scaletti. He's got 7 goals, 2 assists right now. And we got 15 minutes left to play here from Ramsey, New Jersey. Again, to give you a little bit of a look around non-public tournament for the NJSIAA NJ State Private Tournament. Again, Del Barton and Pingaree to get started at 4 p.m. at Del Barton. So in about 49 minutes or so as the ball is on the ground. Joe Amabile, far numbers with the loose ball. Ball comes loose. Quick ground ball by Braden Burnaz, senior, Lynn University commit. He's playing with a broken thumb, wearing a cast here this afternoon. And ball out of play along the far sideline, and Bosco award another possession as Immaculata really has not had too many offensive opportunities here to really get it across midfield and settle in. Quick shot, I think that came from Villarreal, 91 in black. Bounce shot skipped high up over the crossbar. Biku to get it from the end line. Cooper O'Brien, Bruno. Tic-tac-toe passing. Villarreal tried one more for Kushner, and Kushner unable to come up with it. Ball finds its way to the senior Kyle Holpe. Again, a fantastic career, fantastic season. A real difference maker for this program. Again, Coach Hobson didn't have... He had too much to say, too many great things to say about Kyle Holpe. I could only fit a little bit here on my chart under, his wealth of stats and career stats and accolades. As it is, Cole Hayden in the far corner. He's matched up with, that's Justin Bozzolina, 11 in black. Hayden, a spin move at goal line, extended skip pass up to about the 25-yard line. Finds Owen Sanford, gets his left hand free, and Sanford finds the back of the net. And you know what? We'll credit Cole Hayden with an assist there. At least I will.
Owen Sanford.
As Sanford gets Immaculata on the board here in half number 2. With a $1:32 left to play in our third quarter. 11-3 Bosco lead, but I will credit Cole Hayden an assist there. I won't have time to run down to the sideline to try to get confirmations points. I only got up here, I was huffing and puffing when I got up here right before the start of half 2. But Cole Hayden, if that is point number 3 on the afternoon, if we want to credit him with that assist, he is now tied the all-time points record at Immaculata, 275 points set in 2009. So 1 point shy now of breaking that record is the senior Cole Hayden, a 3-sport athlete, 81 career games in basketball, over 1,000 points, over 400 rebounds as Scott Conti comes away with that ensuing face-off win. Jack Murphy, maybe quickly to take advantage of the unsettled situation. I think that was Kushner who got his left hand free. 20 in black up over the crossbar. Holpe, 6'4", 215, up out of the cage and try to erase that shot. It went up over him, though. So Villarreal now from the near numbers to trigger it in as Bosco makes some changes. But Cole Hayden, I was just talking about his basketball. 1,000-plus points, 400-plus rebounds, 139 career assists, and almost 200 career steals. Also a 3-year football player as a senior quarterback. 631 pass yards, 10 touchdowns, 171 carries, up over 1,300 rush yards, and 17 rushing touchdowns. So 27 total scores in 2025 as that shot, I believe Hudson Villarreal, left-hand shot, Holpe with the save. As well as a safety for the Immaculata football team. 30 tackles. He also returned a punt, returned a kick, as it's Spartans trying to get it across midfield. That was 28 in white, Braden Bernaz, and unable to do so. Bosco will take over at midfield. But just to tie a ribbon there on Cole Hayden. Almost skipped into a shot there. And then Villarreal with a right-handed attempt working his way east-west. Holpe, another save. Despite allowing 11 goals as we quickly approach the end of quarter number 3. Double zeros as Spartans send it towards the new goalie in cage, who I didn't even have a chance to mention because Bosco just controlled and dominated that third quarter. It's Brody Corey, 4 in black, the junior in between the pipes for the Ironman to start that third quarter. And Matt would have to imagine he stays in there through quarter number 4, but Bosco up all over the Spartans of Immaculata. 11-3 with 12 minutes left to play. Don't go anywhere. We have quarter number 4 action live right here from Don Bosco Prep High School, live on SSP video highlights on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. Quarter number 4 action on the other side. Twelve more minutes of lacrosse left here from Don Bosco Prep High School. As the Ironmen an 11-3 advantage over the Immaculata Spartans. Spartans 14-7 coming into the afternoon. Who'd be, or is, I should say, the best season already under head coach Dave Hobson. It was previously an 11-9 2023 finish. Spartans got all the way to the non-public B semifinals. They lost to Gil St. Bernard's, who went on to win the 2023 non-public B championship. As a face-off win for the Spartans, and it's Cole Hayden controlling from behind, but stripped by Carson Chervin, the senior committed to the University of Tampa, Division II. A great stick there behind the cage, and he strips Cole Hayden. And now Jack Murphy, 26 in black, will get a touch in the restraining box after getting across midfield. Finds Kushner, and now Scaletti, top of the restraining box, near numbers. As the Spartans do, they have a short bench. You can see some of the guys. Cole Hayden at midfield right now, the 50-yard line, is down, crouched on his knees. A couple of these guys banged up. I mentioned Bernaz wearing a cast on one of his wrists, has a broken thumb. One of the Hayden brothers is dealing with an ankle. Fighting here regardless. The spot in the semifinal at stake. Coach Hobson and his team excited about the opportunity. They did get here a little bit later than they hoped. Putting up a fight here, though, against Bosco. Trying to, as Scaletti's pass for Kushner. Kushner looked like he got some plastic of the head of his stick on it. Now Kushner finds a shooting opportunity about 6-7 yards north of the goal. And left-handed shot, quick wrist shot off the mark. It's Scaletti behind the cage with the backup. We're a minute and a half through our fourth quarter. Scaletti will race his way, handed it off for Koo, and would have had to imagine Jason Koo, that offensive initiator using his speed. He raced his way to along the far sideline. Ball now finds its way to the near numbers. Here's Dever. Back for Scaletti. Played behind for Jason Koo, looking for a feed in front. Play for Dash Lane along the far numbers. Spartans playing this zone defense. Kushner trying to take advantage of it. Holpe, I think he got a left foot on it. And then off the far pipe, loose ball will stay right here with Bosco. A lot of pipes, a lot of crossbars here this afternoon. Here's Scaletti, and he stings the far high corner. I think the shot went up over the off-stick left shoulder of Holpe. But my goodness, Brady Scaletti, 2, 4, 6 now, 8 goals, 10 assists for the 6'3 senior heading to Duke University next season. Needed just a little bit of production here this afternoon in order to reach that goal scoring, or more so break his own single-season goal and point-scoring marks. And he goes out and scores 8 goals, 2 assists, a total of 10 points for the senior Scaletti. Now has 5+ points. That had that a long time ago. 5+ points now in 9 games this season. He's tallied at least 4 in 13 games. Now has 4+ goals in 7 games. I guess just some of those stats I had jotted down here for Scaletti that don't even apply anymore. He's got 8 goals and 10 total points here this afternoon. At least 10 total points. There's 2 other goals that I guess assists are unaccounted for. Those 2 assists confirmed in the first half, down by the lads keeping the scoring book for the Ironmen. As Bosco, another offensive possession here, out of the face-off win. And Kushner unable to control that pass along our near sideline, and it'll be a turnover. Qtrs, 17 in white, will take over for Immaculata along the near sideline. And now Bernaz along the far sideline will play it across midfield. I believe this is Rohrback. It is 31 in white, matched up with 31 in black. And that's Eli Drivas, senior Penn College commit. Is Bosco able to get a handful of other names in there? 8:30 left to play, a 9-goal lead. You got Bosselina, 11 in black, who is a typical, probably like the 6th or 7th pole for Bosco. Maybe even maybe like the 5th or 6th. Now that I think about it, he's covering Cole Hayden here, top of the restraining box. Hayden gets a pick and then rings a shot off the near pipe, left-handed shot after he took a pick from senior Tyler Pollock. Pollock has a hat trick in 4 games this season coming into the afternoon. Here's Owen Sanford. He's got a hat trick in 7 games this season, a feed pass in front. That's 38 in white. Quinn Hayden, the sophomore, gets on the board here this afternoon. His 22nd goal here in 2025. a lethal lefty shooter, dynamic and shifty lefty is what head coach Dave Hobson had to tell me. And then again, picks up the long pole, able to create a lot of havoc. Turnovers, pushes the ball in transition. Cole will be graduating here this afternoon, or this season, I should say. Possibly, you don't want to assume. Excuse me. 8 minutes left to play. Don't want to assume, in an 8-goal deficit, don't want to assume anything here, but possibly last game for Cole Hayden Sr. Again, closing on that points record. But Quinn Hayden will be back for his junior season next season. And then a third brother, another Hayden brother to come in 2026 as a freshman. Coach Hobson very excited about that. As here's Cole, near numbers, gets a touch in the restraining box. Is now Cole, senior, captain, 2 goals. Quinn with a tally now as well. Owen Sanford, the sophomore, has it was the 3rd goal for Immaculata. Got to be excited if you're head coach Hobson, though, next couple seasons. Sanford, Quinn, 2 strong sophomores. Also have a defender in Kukuza, who's a sophomore. A couple big-time seniors, though, who play a big role for this Spartans team. Holpe, Cole Hayden, obviously. Nolan Smith is a captain. Ryan Prisco and Tyler Pollock offensively. Connor Stevens, a defensive midfielder, and Bernaz. A couple seniors who may be playing in their final game for Immaculata. Here's Cole Hayden. His shot wide of the cage. Again, it's Brody Corey in between the pipes, the junior Rutgers commit for the Ironman. He'll be back next season for his senior year as we're inside 7 minutes here in our first of 4 NJSIAA non-public quarterfinals. Bosco, a 12-4 advantage. Here's Quinn Hayden, left hand free and a save for Brody Corey. And across midfield for 16 in black, that's Brady Balcom. Player for Scaletti. And we'll get a timeout from the Bosco sideline. Their first timeout here in half number 2. They have 1 remaining. Head coach Dave Hobson on the Immaculata sideline. He has both of his timeouts here over our final 6:22 left to play. 8-goal lead for Bosco. Let's look over some scores. I have this sheet prepared for obviously those 4 quarterfinal games today. Bosco a 12-4 lead, again, 6:22 left to play. In about 35 minutes, the other 3 NJSIAA non-public quarterfinals will all start in unison. Right here on SSP Video Highlights on YouTube, 4 p.m. Bergen Catholic, heading to Seton Hall Prep. Also Pingree, the number 8 team in the non-public tournament. Number 6 right now, though, in the NJ.com Top 20. They head to Del Barton, the number 1 team in the state. And then Gil St. Bernard's, number 6 in the tournament, number 5 per NJ.com. They head to South Jersey, St. Augustine, who took down Don Bosco here at Granitel back in mid-May. 8-7 triple overtime win. Some other, more so scores around more so the public groups, Mountain Lakes and Chatham, 2 Gibbs teams that compete with Don Bosco, both moving on to their respective section semifinals. Mountain Lakes in North Group 1, Chatham in North Group 3. Chatham on a collision course. I think it's Summit who's in North Group 3 on a collision course for that section final. As for the other Gibbs team that was competing, Ramapo, number 17 in the NJ.com Top 20. They fell to Ridge yesterday, who was I don't have the final score here. That's also North Group 3, same section as Chatham. It's Ridge advancing to the section semifinal. We are in Ramsey, New Jersey. Ramsey High School advanced to their section semifinal yesterday, a win in the North Group 1 quarterfinal. As it is Bosco controlling out of the timeout. Here's Scaletti near hash. I got 2 more winners for you. Here's Villarreal from the point. Swung around. Lane. Skip pass for Jason Koo. I want to say Holpe. Another big save. Senior captain's been huge here this afternoon. Again, despite the 12 goals allowed, it would be a lot more. He's faced a lot of rubber here this afternoon. He stood tall. Again, 6'4", 215. Takes up a lot of the cage. All-time saves leader out of Immaculata, up over 1,000. Long outlet pass. Finds, I believe that's Cole Hayden. And I'm going to correct myself. 38 in white, that's Quinn Hayden. This is Cole along our near sideline. So Immaculata going to need to work quickly here as we approach 5 minutes left to play. Two other winners to highlight from yesterday, Monday, June 2nd. In North Group 4, Westfield, the number 7 team in the state. They move on to their section semifinal. And then Kingsway, possibly who Westfield may face in that Group 4 championship. Ridgewood, also another team in that group. But Kingsway, South Group 4, still undefeated, a perfect 20-0 onto the South Group 4 semifinal. And then mentioned Westwood in North Group 4, Ridgewood and Bridgewater Raritan also in North Group 4. Their semifinal to be played on Friday, June 6th, or excuse me, Thursday, tomorrow, today's Tuesday, Thursday, June 5th. So in 2 days, number 14 in the state, Bridgewater Raritan, heads to Ridgewood, number 10 in New Jersey. And then also on Thursday, June 5th, Group 1, 2, 3, and 4, section semifinals. Friday, again, the non-public semifinals. Higher seeds will host. Wednesday, June 11th, non-public A final at Keene University, 6:30 p.m. The girls will play first. And then Friday, June 13 and Saturday, June 14, the Group 1, 2, 3, and 4 state finals. Played on NJ.com. All those state championship games will be on NJ.com. Here's Scoletti. One more goal for the senior as he receives a skip pass, I think from dash lane near hash. The Spartans defense just lost him there. Scoletti, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 goals on the afternoon. And now 4 minutes to play here from Granitel Stadium. But June 13 and Saturday, June 14. As I mentioned, Group 1, 2, 3, 4 boys and girls state finals. It's 2 games at each host site. So each day, I think there's 2 host sites. If my memory serves me correctly, it was 2 years ago that was the format. That was my first year doing games along with NJ.com. Hoping that I'll at least have Saturday, June 14 at one of those locations, possibly the 13th for some of those state tournament games. So make sure to tune in, NJ.com, for some of those public state titles. As for Bosco, again, if they are to hold on in the next inside 4 minutes, a current 9-goal lead. Immaculata with the face-off win. But if they can hold on, they will either hosting Pingaree or heading to Del Barton on Friday. And then Keene University, Wednesday, June 11th at 6:30 p.m. Make sure to tune into NJ.com. Do a great job there of keeping track of schedules and stats and all that good things. Here's Cole Hayden working his way to his right. East-west, his shot saved by Corey. Hayden was, again, he's hunting a all-time possible record here. I should say he's tied with that record. At least I credit him with the assist. 3 minutes left. I believe it's Cole Hayden. Skip pass in front off the stick of Tyler Pollock, the senior, unable to handle the pass, and the ball finds its way to Brody Corey. Another chance there for Cole to possibly get that assist as he now chases Brody Corey. Corey across midfield for James Greenhut, 14 in black. Missed the last 7 games for the Ironman. Again, mentioned it earlier, he was injured in the Bergen County final against Bergen Catholic. Great to see him out here this afternoon. He has been on the sideline. Haven't seen him too much here. Saw Jack Murphy a lot, 26 in black, who has played in his place. Scalia as well, 3 in black. We've seen him here this afternoon defensively, giving Greenhut some run. Don't want to, it's been a pretty big margin this afternoon for the Ironmen. Don't want to force Greenhut out there if you don't need him out there necessarily. As the ball to play along the far sideline now on the stick of the senior Kyle Holpe. As the Spartans will clear Holpe. Have to assume, again, just doing kind of quick math in my head here, up over 280 saves this season in 2025. Ball out of play along our near sideline, but Immaculata able to get a timeout in before the ball went out of play. They're first in half number 2. 2:21 left to play here from Don Bosco Prep. 13-4 Ironman lead. And don't go anywhere. I will step aside for a quick break. Be back momentarily for, again, our final 2:21 here from Granite Stadium, Don Bosco Prep High School. Don Bosco Prep High School, Granite Stadium, Ironman. 13-4 advantage with 2:21 left to play in our first of 4 NJSIAA non-public private school quarterfinals. About 26 minutes or so. Those other 3 games will all kick off live right here on SSP video highlights on YouTube. You don't got to go too far to find it. Seton Hall Prep hosts Bergen Catholic, and then St. Augustine Prep hosts Gill St. Bernard's, and Del Barton hosts Pingree. That is on the upper bracket, the Don Bosco side of the non-public bracket. Either Bosco will host Pingree or head to Del Barton on Friday. Here's Cole Hayden from the far hash, right hand, free shot saved by Brody Corey. Creating his own shot, gets to the middle of the field. As we're inside 2 minutes here from Bosco. Corey across midfield finds James Greenhut. Quick pass, one more, finds 51 in black, and a goal scorer. And I don't have a 51 in black. Looking at our PA, we don't have a 51 in black either, unfortunately. But likely a first goal of a career there. With a $1:49 left to play, now a 14-4 Bosco lead. Believe 51 is a freshman per the whispers going on up here in the press box. Likely a promising freshman if you're getting some run here in a quarterfinal game. Obviously, up 10 goals, or now 10 goals, up 9 goals at the time. A couple more names here we can probably call out. 54 in black. I think he might have been Patrick Martinez. I have him as 55, though I'm getting a yes. Got a yes there. We got 16 in black out there. Balcom mentioned Benny Hurowitz, 19 a little while ago. Defensively, we see 45. I unfortunately don't have a 45. I do have an 88. That's Strauss Daniel. And number 50, Asher Rice, senior for Bosco. And then I see also 32 in black out there. That's Patrick Gornella, senior, has a goal this season. So Bosco getting some other guys opportunities here this afternoon in our closing stages. $1:42 left to play. Timeout from one of our 2 teams. Jay, you know who took it and who got possession? One of our teams took a timeout. We'll find out who's got possession here. On the other side, we'll step aside again. Minute 42 left to play. 14-4 Bosco lead here at SSP video highlights. We believe it was a Don Bosco timeout. Their second of half number 2 and final. I think it is, as we got the white jerseys set up defensively. That's Sanford and Nolan Smith, number 1 and 4, respectively, here along our near sideline. It's number 5 in black. That's Dean Chizano, sophomore midfielder, to start with it, and now he'll receive it along our near sideline. So we hit the minute 30 mark here in our fourth quarter. Bosco a 10-goal, 14-4 lead over the Immaculata Spartans from Somerville, New Jersey. A little over an hour drive here. Here's Hurwitz to his right along the far hash. Plays it behind for that's not dash line. It is dash line number 2 in black, even though I think possibly wearing a different jersey. Feed in front. Finds its way to number 12 in black. That's a junior, Cooper O'Brien Bruno. His first goal here in 2025. Has 2 assists, so make it 3 points for O'Brien Bruno, the junior class of 2026. His 4th goal in his career. Extends Bosco's lead now up to 15-4. Buck 7 left to play.
Number 2 is Dash isn't playing. None of the starters are playing. So just let you know.
So yeah, I did mention Dash Lane, number 2. There's another number 2. That's what happens when you have these massive rosters down on the sideline. You get multiple numbers. I believe it's a freshman wearing number 2 who might have had the assist there, now that I'm trying to think back on it. And Will Lugo, face-off win. He was matched up with Quinn Hayden, makes his way towards our near sideline. A swim move on Cole Hayden, and he splits the Hayden brothers. Another swim move, and we're going to get a whistle from our near sideline official. You got 10 seconds after earning possession to get a cross or a touch into the restraining box. So now Cole Hayden across midfield as we're inside 45 seconds here from Don Bosco Prep. Hayden pass in front, and Sanford bobbled it. Back for Hayden, and a timeout taken by head coach Dave Hobson down along the Immaculata sideline. His second and final timeout for probably one reason and one reason only. Hobson mentioned to me Cole Hayden does not know that he came into the game 4 points shy of breaking the all-time points record at Immaculata. He's currently tied. Again, 2 goals for Hayden. I credited him with an assist. I want to imagine they must have as well, or possibly, again, trying to draw something up, want to get him to tie that record. But as I have it, he's got 3 points on the afternoon. That's good for 105 here in 2025 and 275 in his 4-year varsity career. 183 goals, 92 assists for the senior captain, Cole Hayden, number 39 in white. You'd have to imagine the only thing they're doing down there is probably drawing something up for him to get a look, or maybe for him to dish a pass to somebody to get a hopefully pretty wide open look here against Bosco's, would have to think maybe 2 or third line defense here. Again, 37.9 seconds left to play. As again, 20 minutes from now, right here on SSP Video Highlights, the YouTube channel, Bergen Catholic heads to Seton Hall Prep. They'll face the winner on the lower part of the bracket. They'll face the winner of St. Augustine Prep hosting Gil St. Bernard's. That game also to start at 4 p.m. Don Bosco, an 11-goal lead. A win, they will either host Pingree on Friday, or they'll head to Del Barton, the number 1 team in the state of New Jersey per NJ.com. Number 1 team in the NJSIAA non-public bracket. You got Sanford, Nolan Smith, Tyler Pollock, Prisco, along with the Hayden brothers, Quinn and Cole. And as I mentioned, a third brother on the way next season in 2026 as a freshman. Also will have Owen Sanford returning. Riley Rohrback, at the face-off stripe. Amabile, Kukuza, Kazoris. A lot of this team returning here this season as we hit 30 seconds left to play. Ball on the stick of Cole Hayden near hash. So he carries to his left. Long goal line extended, curls it back. Now carries north of goal line extended. He's matched up with 21 in black. That's the senior Andrew Croakey. Unsung leader on this team per head coach Matt Lane. Pass in front for Owen Sanford, and his quick catch and finish off the mark. A dive for the end line between both our number 4s, and it's Corey beating Nolan Smith to the end line. 11 seconds left to play. Our clock is paused, but it's running, though, up by us. Corey across midfield. And that's going to do it here from Don Bosco Prep High School as the Ironmen, a 15-4 win over the Spartans of Immaculata. They move on to Friday's semifinal. Again, Friday, June 6th. The Ironmen will either host the 8-seed Pingree or they'll head to Del Barton, pending that matchup here again to start in about 15-20 minutes or so. That's the upper part of the bracket. The lower part of the bracket, you got St. Augustine Prep hosting Gil St. Bernard's. And then live right here on SSP Video Highlights, you can leave us when I leave you. And you can head on over there. Bergen Catholic, a Bergen County, Gibbs County rival of the Ironmen. They head to Seton Hall Prep. As again, a 15-4 final here from Granitel Stadium. The Ironmen move on. To recap your goal scorers, we'll start with the Spartans. Cole Hayden, 2 goals and an assist. That puts him at 64 goals, 105 points here in 2025, 183 career goals, 92 assists. And again, I credit him with the assist, 275 career points for the senior captain. Cole Hayden, he ties the all-time Immaculata points record set in 2009. Mentioned Quinn Hayden, the sophomore goal, Owen Sanford, the other goal for the Spartans. Hayden finishes with 22 on the season. Owen Sanford finishes with 43. As for senior captain Kyle Holtby, a fantastic senior season, fantastic 4-year starting varsity career. 77 career games played for the senior Holtby. Up over 1,000 saves, the all-time saves leader at Immaculata, and the St. Joseph's commit ends his lacrosse career alongside Cole Hayden and others, Nolan Smith, Tyler Pollock, Ryan Prisco, along with defenders Braden Bernaz and defensive midfielder Connor Stevens. As for the Don Bosco Ironmen, they improve to 16-6 here in 2025 and continue their non-public A title defense. Again, Gil St. Bernard's also in action, the non-public B 2024 state champ, as Bosco looks for back-to-back titles and their 4th championship overall. Brady Scaletti had a day. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 goals and 2 assists on the afternoon, a total of 11 points. Brady Kushner also added 2 goals. The Loyola Maryland commit, Hudson Villarreal, 2 early goals as well for the junior. He's headed to Sacred Heart. Cooper O'Brien Bruno, a goal. And then let me look to my stat sheet here. We got number 51 in black, also tallied a goal on the afternoon as well here in the NJSIAA non-public quarterfinal. We appreciate you joining us on this beautiful Tuesday. And with that, we let you go. Likely our final time here. Don't want to, again, assume a score between Del Barton and Pingree, but Del Barton, man, they're good. So we'll see between that one. I don't know if there's anywhere to watch that game, or the St. Augustine Gil St. Bernard's game, but we'll definitely be following. Again, NJ.com's got all those scores, scheduled, brackets for you, so make sure to tune in there. Again, for probably the final time this season, Jay Sticko operating the camera, producing this afternoon's game. My name, Ryan Holzbus. We appreciate you joining us, whether this was your first game or I think we did 6 or 7 games here this season. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon, and best of luck to the Ironmen on Friday as they, again, looking to defend their 2024 NJ non-public A title. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you on the next broadcast live right here on YouTube on SSP Video Highlights.